Welcome, everyone. 6 o'clock. We are looking to go into executive session for discussion concerning details of the medical, financial, credit, or employment history of a particular person or corporation. Do I have a motion? Motion by Jerry, second by Travis. All in favor, raise your right hand. Any opposed? Motion carries unanimously. We will be going to exec session at 6 o'clock. proceed to the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag. We have a memorial resolution for Mr. James Richardson, a longtime employee here at Tri-Valley who has passed away. Whereas Mr. James Richardson served as a staff member of the Tri-Valley Central School District, and whereas Mr. James Richardson served as a custodian at the Tri-Valley Central School District, and whereas Mr. James Richardson passed away on March 16th, 2026. Be it resolved that the Tri-Valley Central School District extends its thanks to Mr. James Richardson for his service, and be it further resolved that the Tri-Valley Central School District extends its sympathies to the family of Mr. James Richardson during this time of mourning. Mr. Richardson will be missed. Okay, next up we have correspondence, which we have none. We have public comment session for items that are on tonight's agenda. Also none. So we're going to move to our admin presentations.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome back for all of us. We're just kind of moving on. We'll talk about our last Friday. We had a superintendent's conference day. During this day, we were able to partner with Sullivan Boces and Fallsburg to have over 40 options for our staff to attend and work through. So really building capacity. We had some people from Fallsburg and from Boces here. We had people at the Boces building. We had people at Fallsburg. So it was really a strong day of kind of learning with some peers outside of the school. What's not on the slide is we had Congressman Josh Riley here. He came to visit some of our schools. Mr. Haynes had brought him in to talk with our civics, and Mr. Eckhoff had one of his classes come in, and he gave them a little speech, and they went through different roles that he plays. And then he was able to get a tour. Savannah Tribodi took him around the high school. We went to the media center. We went down to the ag part with Miss Burke. Really strong showing. He was really impressed. We walked through the ag room and they had about 100 different flowers, all in an experiment of different ways to preserve them. And then we went down to the elementary school to Miss Patterson's room where he read them a story. And then at the end, he got a hug from all the kids who came up and gave him a big hug. So it was very cute, very well received. He posted some things on social media, but really looking to highlight the school, highlight what our teachers do around the county and what we still learn. Any questions?
I had a question, not so much about this, but about iReady data. Have we
Okay.
done any new testing where we might be able to see some data on that?
We did our winter one. We can pull and present if you'd like a individual presentation on that. That'd be more like a, not in this mode, but kind of like I did with an AI one. You're welcome.
Frank, the superintendent's conference, I spoke to a faculty member from a different school, but a graduate from here, who said they were blown away by how clean our facilities are, how professional things were run, and how it's so much better than the district that they're in. So just so you guys know.
We have a lot of great people across all areas in this district that make it great for our kids and our staff. So we do appreciate that.
All right, thank you.
Wonderful.
Good evening, everyone. I just wanted to give you a little update on the breakdown of special ed numbers and 504 numbers. I know you asked about it. So right now, we currently have 19 students under the Committee for Preschool and Special Education, 54 students under the Committee for Special Education in the K-6 in the elementary building, 47 students under CSE 7 through 12, for a total of 101 students with a classification rate of 14%. That classification rate is down 2% over the past few years. And I just wanted to let you know the countywide classification rates range between 16 and 22%. So we're doing well there. We have been continuing with our IEP audit during the monthly department meetings, which are going well. And recently I took a team of teachers, some from the elementary and some from the secondary school, to a BOCES training on testing and administrating testing accommodations. That's pretty much it. We're still knee deep in annual reviews. They're going fabulously. Any questions? All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Have a great spring break.
Ms. Cornish, one more sleep is what we've been chanting in the building and amongst the admin team. So good evening. Just wanted to give an update on some of the attendance trends that we're seeing to date. As you can see in those graphs, we have some comparisons from our 23-24 school year through this current school year. Starting at the top, we're talking about chronically absent rates. That is for our district. Remember, chronically absent is when a student does not attend school for 10% or more, which is 18 days or more of the school year. So we were at a 26%, we peaked up to 31, and we're currently at our lowest for chronically absent students, which is 23%. Secondary school, this year we're looking good. We're really going to work hard to keep that number there. So right now we're looking at a 93% daily attendance rate for secondary school, and the elementary school has stayed pretty consistent over the last 3 years at holding at about 93% for their daily attendance rate as well. And just some whys behind that. So we're looking at some systems that have been put in place for each building, which include a reaction for when a student is absent for 3 days. That is something that is new for this school year. So if we have a student that is absent for 3 consecutive days, that begins a chain reaction. When that includes teachers reaching out, counselors reaching out, and all of their contact home and attempts to contact home being documented in our school tool global notes, which has been extremely helpful when we're looking to go back and track some of the communication that has been made home, and we can see all the attempts that have happened. So that's certainly one of the things that are making these numbers do what we want and getting the kids here at school. The attendance letters that are going out, we've worked really hard on cleaning up some of those systems, cleaning up our school tool, our student management system, where all of the attendance is kept, and where with the attendance is fed into the system, letters are then distributed. So that documentation has been very helpful in ensuring that that is being inputted and exported out correctly. Those attendance meetings, I've talked about it before to the Board of Education. We have bi-weekly meetings with both the elementary school, separate with the secondary school, and those conversations about students, simply paying attention to what is happening with our kids has been extremely helpful in ensuring that we're not losing anybody, that we're not missing something. We go through lists and we sit there and we all put our heads together and share what we know about a student as to why they may not be there. And we come up with a plan for who's going to do what to touch base with that student and their family. Of course, we've got positive attendance recognition. That is something that has been fairly consistent at the elementary school level, and certainly is something that we continue to find unique ways to address and be able to positively encourage students who have appropriate on-target attendance in the secondary school. And finally, overall, just positive school climate. You know, there have been some amazing programs and opportunities for our students here that we continue to introduce each year, and certainly that has a way of getting the kids in. And I just want to do one side commercial and just draw attention to something that Mr. Dean often says when we're talking about attendance, having to do with some of our chronically absent students and their just participation in extracurricular activities. Just so happens that one of the hats that I'm wearing now, there happens to be a student who has not the best of attendance, and she did join an athletic team for the spring, and that has been extremely helpful and being able to monitor her and have conversations with her in particular to be sure that she is coming to school. So I would just like to continue to, really reiterate the fact that some of these students, one of the ways that we can get them to be here, keep those numbers going the way that we want, is to continue to find ways to get them active in our school community, extended hours of our school day. Any questions about our rates?
Just one question. Maybe I'm reading it wrong. You got the chronic absent rate. This year was 23%. The year before was 31.26. But on the bottom, the attendance rate, it's steady across the board, 93%. How?
So we have that top section that you're talking about is the chronically absent for our entire district. That is pre-K through 12.
Oh, because
And-
here it says, I'm sorry,
No, that's okay.
it says it divides it up to secondary on the right. So I assumed it was the elementary and secondary, two different.
So you have a yearly total of chronically absent students pre-K through 12 on the top left. That is for our whole district. And then we have daily attendance rates that we're looking at there. And it's the daily attendance rates that we average in to get a final year count. And where overall the state usually recommends that schools be at least 92% daily attendance rate. So we are certainly above that for right now.
I knew I was reading it. Thank you.
No worries. Thank you, George. Any other questions?
I have a question, but I have a comment. I have a child that is suffering a severe case of senioritis. And I can tell you, for those that don't have kids in the district, you know when your kid is not at school. Between text messages, phone calls to the house phone. So I think that's fantastic. And it keeps the parents plugged in with who's in the building and who isn't. So I appreciate it, and keep up the good work.
Very good. Thank you.
So this winter, we started something new in IT that I'm very proud of. Our techs came to me and said, we're interested in really starting to, with some of the new tools out there, develop some of our own apps. And so beginning in the summer, we began work on a few different ones. We identified a few different kind of low-hanging fruit and began work on that. And the first of those is actually going to go live next week. And that is called Bear Pass. The Bear Pass solution is Bear Pause. I jumped ahead. Bear Pause is our IT ticketing system. So by replacing our existing IT ticketing system with one that we've built ourselves, it allows us to build something that is specifically tailored to our school, does exactly what we want to do, reduces the clutter, makes it that much easier for our teachers and everyone else to use that. And it also, in that solution, is saving us $3,825 a year by having done it ourselves, and that'll be from now till the end of time. The next one is, I'm going to jump around a little bit here, is a server status monitoring system. We currently pay an external company to do that. That's one that we're working on right now, and that one, once complete, will save us $7,200 per year over what we're paying outside. The third one is, and I kind of mix things up a little bit in this graphic, but it's our asset security status reporting system. So this is the system we put in a few years ago that monitors all of our hardware, and anytime a vulnerability is announced, it checks to see if that vulnerability affects any of our hardware, access point, basically any of the hardware throughout our entire school. And if it's something that needs to get patched, it will alert us to that and do that in a fast manner. That solution, if we're able to implement that the way we believe we're going to, is going to save us over $24,000 a year. So that's going to be a huge win. The next one is Bear Pass, and that is one that is largely being worked on by our digital art teacher. He's almost become an extended part of our department at this point. Is doing some fantastic work, and that solution, when we are ready to go live with that one, we'll actually come in and do a demo of that for you. That's going to be an electronic hall pass solution that will, at every point in time, we're going to know where every single student is within the building. When they get a pass and they're out, we're going to know which students are out to the restroom or out in the hall. And if they signed out to go from their study hall down here to the bear den, the monitor down at the bear den will know that they're coming. And if they don't show up after a certain period of time and get marked as being here, that gets flagged and we'll know about it immediately. So there's some really, really cool technology that we're building into that. And we're just finishing the last pieces of that. And we'll present that when we're ready to go with that. But that one is going to save us somewhere between $1,200 and $2,500 a year over any of the external solutions that we had looked at, as well as it saves us from buying a bunch of different additional Chromebooks that we would have needed for the other solution. Any other questions?
Is there an alarm on that if the kids don't show up where to go instead of somebody monitoring it all the time? Or does alarm go off if it takes supposed to take 2 minutes, they take 5 minutes?
Yes, there's countdown timers that get triggered as soon as a student is out. If they're signing out from one place and going to another room and they aren't there within a certain part of time, it flags that immediately. There's the principals will have their own console and they get flagged on that immediately and alerted. So,
Does that seem to be a problem in the district? Okay, thank you.
yeah. Yeah, we built when we designed it, we really spoke with a lot of the teachers and found out what the problem points are. Our principals were key in exactly designing this the way that we wanted it to work for the school.
So does that specifically item that they're carrying, it's a hall pass?
They're not actually carrying anything.
They're not.
Nope. They will on their Chromebook, they'll apply for a pass. The principals will have, there'll be forbidden lists in there. So if a student is on pass restriction, or if, let's say, 2 students had a fight last week, the system has the functionality that if one of those students is out in the bathroom and the other student applies for a pass, it's the teacher sees that they're not allowed to have a pass right then until the other student's back out of the hallways. So there's zero risk of that coming to additional problems in the hallway.
So you got to go look for them instead of having a pass that shows where they are then.
The system tells you where they're supposed to be.
Supposed to be. I didn't ask you that. I said where they are at that time if they're missing. That would not show that then.
No, but you could pull it up on the camera system very easily.
I thought maybe it was automatic. You don't have a key or something like that could do that? You give a kid a pass like we have, you know where you are all the time.
Theoretically, yes, but the expense that would be involved with that for them to be able to swipe in at different locations and everything would
Thank
be
you.
colossal.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Good evening. So we have a lot going on in the secondary world. We've been doing our student and counselor meetings. We've been working on our pathways aligned to interests and strengths. With our course selections. So each guidance counselor has been meeting with them. We have finished approximately 3 grade levels. We're on our last grade level for that and are looking at mid-April to finish those up. So that's really great timing and giving us the ability to move forward with some scheduling earlier and working on those alignments. We've been setting up a lot of parent meetings. So some things that happen behind the scenes, I know with academics, but also behavior and credit impact. So there's a lot of moving parts, especially as we get closer to senior year and we're monitoring those academic and credit needs and then also their behavior. And maybe they're not able to attend any of our classes or we need to look at some program referrals or needs. That's where I come in connection with a lot of our outside agencies. We work with Sullivan Bosse's. We've also referred out to some other programming in Kingston. We've also referred out to some programming at Orange Ulster. And really tapping into some outside resources in order to make sure that our students are where they need to be successful and where we need to be in our building so those students inside our building can also be successful. So we have been doing a lot of those meetings and really coming together as a team to ensure that our students are successful across the board. In our professional learning and development areas, we've been continuing our PLCs. We're reviewing our grading practices for equity amongst some of our high school classes. We're utilizing those data trend reports. Our vertical PLC alignment is still happening and it's been very successful. They're going through focusing on their priority standards, they're spiraling their resources, and really digging into that common language between grades 5 through 8. Professional development, I've been attending a lot of professional development around, the portrait of a graduate, as you have heard and seen, and that whole child process. So there's been a lot of professional development behind the scenes and really making sure that we can be set up for success and our students are set up and ahead of the game. I will report out some of the professional development that we've been in with other districts, with other counties. We were just in Albany last week. We are ahead of the game and we stand out. So when I am at a professional development conference, Mr. Snyder and I were just at one recently, we were beyond ahead, and other districts were kind of looking at us like, what do we do? How do we do that? So it's really good to see, just knowing that this is coming. We've known it's coming. We've been working behind the scenes to make sure that we're set up for that. And that is a huge relief on some of these standards and mandates that are coming out. So that's where we're at. A lot going on. We've also had a lot of celebrations lately. We've had concerts, we've had color wars, we've had honor and junior honor society inductions, we've had 8th grade poetry slam, competition night. And then just yesterday we had our calc and our pre-calc presentations. And I think I left there first with goosebumps, listening to each of our students, really their interests, their needs, how they're connecting things. I don't know how I get to be their principal, and they're running the world at this point. So it was phenomenal and just a really great showcase of what our students can do. Any questions? Great, thanks.
Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. We had our Read Across America earlier this month, and it was a success. It was phenomenal. We had 31 guest readers, although we had to reschedule due to a snow day. But it was just fantastic. So I just want to thank everyone for volunteering, including some of our board members. I also read to a pre-K classroom, Miss Patterson's class, and students enjoyed listening to stories. They enjoyed the surprise visitors, and they made really cute Dr. Seuss hats. So it was awesome. Our real food songwriting started for 6th grade students, funded through STEAM. They are learning the differences between real food and processed food, which is awesome. And afterwards, they're going to create a song, and they're supposed to have a video for the song as well. So that should be posted on our school website in the near future. Also, looking ahead, we have our spring break coming up, and then afterwards we have state testing, which starts on April 14th. Any questions? Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, good evening, everybody. Welcome to spring. Yankees won, Mets won. Aaron Judge did not win. But Tri-Valley level, we had our first softball scrimmage tonight. Track's headed out tomorrow, so we're into the spring season. Back in February, I had some numbers for you of kids that had signed up, and those numbers seemed low, and it had just opened. So as of 3/19, we have 100 JV and varsity athletes and 42 modified athletes. So those numbers jumped. A lot of participation. We actually had picture day today, so everybody looked sharp in all their uniforms. Everyone was bringing their own bat. You got to have your picture with your bat, your club, all of that good stuff. So that's on the athletic side of things. And then really exciting news from the wellness side of things. So a few months back, I told you we had applied for 3 grants. All 3 were approved. So our ES competition grant for $10,000 was approved. Nicole Temple really spearheaded that. There's going to be we designed an outdoor classroom right near the start of the nature trail out behind the ES. And there's going to be some work done to decorate the hallways that lead out, focusing on physical activity, nutrition, SEL. And part of that as well is we're going to send some of our teachers for professional development for outdoor school. So it's called the Forest School, and it relates nature, our beautiful environment that we get to live and work in, and brings that into the classroom. So combine that outdoor space with that professional development and a lot of the great things we already have, such as the nature trail. Then the secondary, also approved as the competition grant. Tanya Hugler spearheaded that one. Similar but different items. So secondary school, we also like to be outside in the classroom from time to time. So we have a separate location for an outdoor classroom, sort of towards the front, that the back drive that goes to the back baseball field. And then we're going to kind of create a path that carries along the kind of the hillside of the baseball field and brings you over to the start of the nature trail. So when this is done, we should actually have a complete loop. We'll use the back of the school, and it'll kind of complete our trail and make it really special. And the last part of that as well is recess. We have a plan to utilize the back area, like headed up to the baseball field. It's blacktop, so when it's inclement weather, snow outside, but we can clear that space. We're going to add some things there to open up a recess option. Both of the competition grants, once it's all said and done, the grant period is up, and they will then judge what we have done, and we would be eligible for awards of $75,000, $50,000, or a $500 Turtle Award. But all that is a ways down the road once everything is implemented and they can look at all of the school's grants. The final grant, I'm going to go back to another baseball reference. I'm going to go to the bullpen, call Mr. Snyder up. He and I work together on the district impact grant, and I'm going to let him speak on that.
It's been a long time since I've been called from a bullpen. So the impact grant, we're looking to bring Leader in Me, but their micro-credential program, which is a relatively new program. They started last November. We actually had trainers here with staff and students and admin back in December. And it's really a piece that can align with the portrait of the graduates. So one of our things about staying ahead is when we have to report to the state, when our kids get that new report card, what do we have to do to meet the criteria and the new credits? Still a little wishy-washy with the state, what's out there. I know some of you that went to the board meeting the other day witnessed that firsthand. But this is aligned to those core competencies. So it's one of those steps that this grant allows us to pilot it, see how our staff and our kids respond without costing us any taxpayer money. But also, if we like it, it will align and it will put our kids in front. And the micro-credentials can then go on the transcript. They can take it to jobs. And really, Leader in Me is going to work with us, kind of leveraging what a micro-credential does for our kids. So when they go for an interview, they can talk about it. They can see what it is. There are 8 different micro-credentials that we're going to be going into depth tomorrow. Actually, Mr. Cordelli, Ms. Eberly, and myself are going to be talking with a rep tomorrow morning. Any questions? Thank you, everyone.
I don't have a question. Kevin, are you done or are you
I just
still?
have one final comment. So the photo I have up there of the ESPN table from the basketball game. When those guys came up to me like 10 minutes before the game and were like, "We want an ESPN table," I was like, "What are you even talking about?" But they had a plan clearly because they had a tablecloth and everything. I went to a conference last week and there was a session, Create Your Own Sports Center. So clearly they're ahead of the game and they have good ideas. Sorry. Any?
No, I love the idea. I would love to see our broadcast crew start doing some of the home games. If we have kids that are interested, Ellenville does it. It's hilarious. They have 2 not very sporty kids that call the sports games, but it does add like a different element for the folks at home. So I'd love to see that in a more formal way. And second thing, now that these grants have landed, can we look into grants to upgrade our athletic facilities? I know we have Jeff on board now. We have the same basketball court surface, the same backboards, the same field that we've had for 40 years. Our district is skyrocketing in every other way, but we still need help with our facility. So if you guys can make that a thing, I know that it's a priority to many out there in the community.
Now, some of those basketball backboards were donated by previous graduates, so we want to be careful.
Upstairs, Jim.
Any questions? All right. Thank you.
Next, we have the superintendent's report.
Good evening again. I want to start by welcoming Mr. Froelich to our team. Jeff has been with us for 4 days, transitioning into his position as our business official and learning our systems. So Jeff, thank you for being a part of our team. I do want to also give a shout out to our staff and our students. As both principals have been reporting, we've had tons of things happening, but oh my, the presentations that have been taking place around our district. We have got reports, we've got weathermen and weatherwomen in our elementary school. The math presentations yesterday, as Mrs. Eberly said, you left with goosebumps. I don't know how these kids have conversations at the dinner table at night. They were brilliant. And on the senior trip, we'll be doing a lot about watching the tide and the stars. I can tell you that from that. really impressed. Our kids have embraced and our teachers have embraced the project-based learning philosophies, and it makes it very hands-on for kids. On Monday, Mrs. Berkey, Mr. Stevens, Mrs. Woods, Mr. Snyder, and myself attended the Sullivan County School Board's dinner at Liberty. Our guest speaker was also our guest speaker on our webinar that we did the next day, which was on the portrait of a graduate, really about some of the current mandates. We have to have a financial literacy class that we're offering our students in grades K through 12, and we're just waiting to hear what that's going to look like. We had access to what the standards are, and then how we're going to put that together. And then after that, we'll have to do a climate class for all of our students in grades K through 12, and that is on really climate and the environment and your footprint. So still waiting for some guidance on the state from that. I did want to just give an update on the projected tax levies that are happening in Sullivan County. It's definitely a hot topic in our areas. These are projections, but I wanted you to see where we're sitting in comparison to our other districts. Monticello is projecting a 2.89% tax levy. Sullivan West is looking at a 2.99% tax levy. Fallsburg is at a 1.5% tax levy. Liberty is going out at a 0% tax levy. Rockland is looking at a 4.48% tax levy. Eldred is looking at a 4.63% tax levy. And then Tri-Valley is recommending a 2.99% tax levy to the board. In your packet of things tonight, I did give you the New York State Portrait of a Graduate, what the school board needs to know. It was referenced at our meeting the other night. Just some reading for you, just so you are in line with the things that we've been working on. And then finally, I want to wish everyone a very safe and warm and healthy, well-deserved spring break.
Thank you. All righty. Item 8, items the board wants pulled from tonight's agenda. Does anybody have an item? Okay, which means we're going to move on to item 9, the consent agenda, resolution to approve the entire consent agenda. This is an action. Do I have a motion? Motion by Jerry, to a second. Second by Pat. I believe we're going to vote. Any discussion? All right. Electronic vote, maybe? That motion carried unanimously. Be it resolved that upon the recommendation of the superintendent of schools, the Board of Education does hereby approve the entire consent agenda, categories 9 through 13. All right. Item 14 is old business. Anybody have any old business? Okay. Item 15, public comment session for items that are not on tonight's agenda. We have none of those. Item 16, new business. Approval of a superintendent search brochure and advertising costs through BOCES. Does anybody, do we have a motion for this? Motion by Nicole. Do we have a second? Second by Pat. Do you have any discussion? All right. I will say one thing. We are going to do a professional, thorough, and transparent search for a superintendent. We want the district to move forward. The board is working very hard with all parties involved to make sure that the district stays on its feet. And we care very much about everyone involved in this, from admin all the way down to the students. So we are going to proceed to vote on this action. All right, that was a unanimous vote. Whereas the Board of Education is engaged in the process of selecting a superintendent of schools, and whereas a brochure and associated job posting have been developed to advertise the position and attract qualified candidates, and whereas the Board of Education has reviewed the proposed brochure and job posting and finds them to be appropriate for this purpose. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the Board of Education hereby approves the brochure and associated job posting for the position of superintendent of schools, and be it further resolved that the Board of Education authorize the distribution of the approved materials through the New York State School Boards Association, advertising service at a cost of $185, and the New York State Council of School Superintendents advertising cost at a cost of $330, and be it further resolved that the Board of Education acknowledges that the search consultant will also widely distribute the position announcement through additional channels that do not require any further cost to the district. Okay. Now next we have adoption of, I'm sorry. Which part? Oh, okay. Do we have next up is adoption of budget for 26-27. Do we have a motion? Motion by Jerry. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Tammy. Any discussion? Please proceed to vote.
As always, a concern is fiscal for me. I think we're in the realms that we should be. I'm concerned about the state funding coming down this year. There's been some noise, different than it has been in the past, especially when the governor was chasing everybody out with money, and now she's inviting everybody back. So it sends a message that I think that maybe they're looking for money. So I hope we get what we're supposed to be getting. What are they? What are they talking about?
So we're looking at a 2.2% foundation aid, which is about 12,700,000, about 270,000 more than it was last year. Last year we had 2% foundation aid. This year we were at 2.2%.
And this helps us replenish the fund balance?
Yes, it will help with the fund balance, but it will also help us allow to continue our programs.
I personally don't have a problem with it. Thank you.
Any more discussion? All right, proceed to vote. All righty, that's unanimous. Be it resolved upon the recommendation from the Superintendent of Schools that the Board of Education at its March 26th, 2026 meeting adopts the proposed budget in the amount of $39,607,948 for the 26-27 school year. Next up, we have a resolution of lodge. Do I have a motion? Motion by Pat. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Rose. Any discussion?
Is that signatures going to cover all that needs to be covered? Or do we have to do each one individually?
This is just for Wayne Bank.
Thank you.
Any further discussion? Please proceed to vote. That is unanimous. Be it resolved that upon the recommendation of the Superintendent of Schools, the Board of Education does hereby approve the addition of Jeff Froelich as an approved and authorized signer on district bank accounts held at Wayne Bank effective March 27th of 2026. Next up, we're going to move to board comment session. Start with Travis Hartman.
I have nothing tonight. Thank you.
Chris?
Okay, so I just wanted to mention two quick things. Firstly, there's nothing new with the students. They're all very happy. The Josh Riley presentation was mentioned. Was able to go to that, and all the students were very pleased to meet Josh Riley. It was a very fun event. And also the math presentation. So I heard a lot of comments on social media from the parents and from other students. It was a very good team building event. It was very well organized. I'd say the event was, we all got food. Everyone was happy about it. It was just a great event overall. Thank you.
Thanks, Chris. And Chris, I saw your war face at competition. You're a pretty serious guy. Nicole?
Talk about goosebumps. Seeing all the 4th through 12th graders sing together. Oh my gosh, it was just perfect. They did such a great job. The other thing is that I got the privilege of going to the 3rd grade presentation with their weather projects. They did incredible. Kudos to Mrs. Shealy. I think the other classes also do something similar. They did such a great job. So, good job, little people.
Thank you, Nicole. Jerry?
I thoroughly enjoyed the math presentation yesterday. I learned a lot.
Tammy?
I'd just like to congratulate all the new inductees into the National Honor Society and the Junior National Honor Society. That's quite an accomplishment. And it was very nice to see so many students participating in the honor societies. I'm looking forward to a great spring sports season. Now that the weather is hopefully nice. Fingers crossed. Competition night was absolutely amazing. It was definitely a nail biter in several of the races. Congratulations to the seniors for a job well done. The calculus and pre-calc presentations were phenomenal. If you weren't able to make it this year, I highly suggest getting there in future years. I learned so much from these presentations, and the topics were just mind-blowing. Things you don't think about. And I hope everybody has an amazing spring break.
Rose?
Only thing I have to add is that I hope everyone gets lots of rest and relaxation on their spring breaks. I know I'm ready, so I'm sure you guys are as well.
One comment, one question. Welcome aboard to Jeff. Good to have you. And then a question for you, Aaron, about the application of the deterrent for the youth. When does that go down? Has it gone?
It has not gone down yet. Jesse is waiting for some of the rain to dissipate, and then he will start applying it.
This is Geesegate, that issue. How's that been going?
Well,
Sorry.
so the text I received the other night was Geese 1, Tri-Valley 0. The beacons are in, the decoys are out. We've ordered more flags to put around the pond. It seems to be working on the track. Those flags are flying, and our custodians, our maintenance guys are a little bit more cognizant about being out there a lot. This is the scout time. This is the time when they come and find their place to nest, and we're trying to be really cognizant that they're out there and try to shoo them away. So we're trying. I don't know if we're winning yet.
The pond decoys, the fox and the coyote, they were surrounded by geese the other day.
Yes, but yes, I've got several people reporting to me that they see the decoy and the two next to them, and yes,
Just a little wiggle or something would help.
yeah.
George?
Want to welcome our new business officer. Thanks for coming to Tri-Valley. Another thing, I cleared this with the superintendent a while back. I was going to do it. I've been forgetting about to do it. I'm going to read something that was sent to me by a student. And you'll know what I'm talking about when I read it. It says, "Hi, Mr. Dean. I want to say that I did something horrible by accident, and I deserve to have consequences. I hope you can forgive me. I am sorry." And it was sent to George. Well, it was the wrong George, and he pushed the wrong button. So I think it's a lesson for anybody out there that's listening, because that button is not forgiving. So once they press it, it's there forever. So, but tell the individual that I appreciate it. Thank you. I'd like to tell the administration team that I really enjoy your updates. I think it's very important for the board to hear that. I know it takes a lot of work, and I know that the district is moving forward from this team. And it does not go unnoticed, trust me. And I thank you for that.
Thanks, George. Jeff, welcome aboard. I hope it's a smooth transition. And the board seats that are open. There are 3 of them. Community members, if you are watching, many probably aren't, but if they are, these are important spots. I talked to someone this past weekend and they're like, why would you ever do that? And I explained that because this is our community, these are our kids, this matters. And I don't want to hear anybody say they're too busy or they work or they have kids, because everyone up here works, has kids, is busy. So community members, come aboard. Anybody else? All right. Do I have a motion to adjourn? Pat, second by Nicole. Electronic vote. I think it's going to pass. That is unanimous. Everybody have a great night.